most businesses don't have a marketing problem, they have a retention problem. And fixing it could double your revenue without spending another dollar on ads. In this episode, I'll share the one mistake that silently kills customer loyalty, even in great businesses. And in a few minutes, I'll explain why well-run businesses still lose customers. Welcome back for episode 45.
So let's just talk, Chloe, about why the customer experience is a new competitive advantage for most B2B businesses. Well, first off, customer experience beats price and features. You tend to find that products are easier than ever to copy nowadays, especially with the advent of AI and people now vibe coding. Price competition leads to shrinking margins. So as there's more people creating products, whether it's a SaaS app or whatever business that they're in, you can guarantee that there's going to be lots more competition, especially nowadays, which is ultimately going to lead to shrinking margins.
Yeah.
And of course, experience is what customers remember and return for. People remember how you made them feel, but they don't remember
What you did for them. Yeah.
what you did for them, yeah. So there's a couple of few key points I want to just highlight is the customers don't leave a business because of price. They usually leave because some sort of friction. Either whatever it is that you're providing isn't quite working for them, they can't quite work it out, or the support isn't there. That's generally why people tend to vote with their feet. Emotion plays a bigger role in buying than logic. So people tend to buy on emotion and then later on review that by logic. That's how you get what's called buyer's remorse after someone's bought something. So brands that feel easy and relatable and human would generally win long term. So the most successful businesses don't treat a customer experience as an add-on. They build their growth strategy around it, which is pretty much what we're doing, eh?
And you can see that with specific businesses, like some of your favorite ones. I think for me, it's like JB Hi-Fi with their price comparison. They're always willing to help, always willing to go the extra mile, make sure that you're saving the best money that you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a really nice company. And, that's going to keep me going back and using them. And it's going to make me want to go to them first. That's my first option to go when I'm looking for anything to do with, computers or whatever JB Hi-Fi have to offer.
Arguably what I do is I'll bring up their tab, then I'll go searching for the thing that I'm looking for, find the cheapest possible one, and then I go onto their team to generally ask for a discount on if they're selling it, because they generally give you even more than what the cheapest one is. So it's even better when you're bundling things as well, so you get that same offer off the entire order. So something for someone to think about.
It's how you can save some money. So what's the real cost of poor retention? So what churn actually costs you is higher ad spend to replace lost customers, lost referrals and word of mouth growth, and inconsistent revenue and forecasting stress. So acquiring customers is expensive, and we know that you have to spend, you have to invest in marketing, you have to invest in ads, you have to, really invest in bringing new customers in. But retaining the customers is what is profitable, because it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper to get business out of the same customer than it is to get business out of a new customer.
Correct.
Plus, loyal customers spend more and they trust you faster, and they're more inclined to share your brand with their network. So when a business improves retention, it doesn't need to sell harder because growth starts to compound naturally.
100%. You've got to ask yourself, especially as we move into 2026, what the future customer experience looks like. And over the past year, Chloe, with the platforms and the systems we're building for our clients, customer experience is a massive, massive part of that. Not just for what we deliver, but what we deliver for our clients who are delivering for their clients and their customers. So there are a few modern customer expectations nowadays. The first one is fast responses. People, we live in a society where we generally get feedback for a lot of different things right away, and that's what we expect from businesses. You know,
Yeah.
if you're buying something or you've got a customer support problem, if I send an email away, I expect a reply within about 5 minutes because that's
Yeah.
what we would do, right? You know, we get back to them right away. And if one of our clients has an issue, we're on it right away. You know, fixing
Yeah.
it
It
generally
gets
before we even get back
fixed.
to them.
Yeah.
So that's what people expect, and that's what people need to consider in their business. That make sure that you've got a system in place that allows you to be able to do that. The second one is personalization. The personalization is something that's been around for ages and ages. It's not just about, you know, using the person's first name or what, you know, when you're sending out a DM or an email. It's actually personalizing the experience specifically for that particular client. Understanding who your ICP is, what your buyer
Yeah.
persona's needs and wants and requirements are, and how they live their daily lives can really help you personalize your service or products around your ideal clients.
Yeah.
Another one is transparency. You know, people expect you to tell the truth. I mean, this is something that should come hand in hand with just living.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised how many people are, or many businesses aren't 100% transparent. Or if something goes wrong, they try and blame it on something else. You know, just
Yeah.
be upfront, be transparent. You know, we're all human, things happen. Just be transparent about what's happening in the business, you know? And of course, consistency across every touch point needs to be 100% honed in. So whether they're reaching out to you on email, DMing you on social media, whatever it is, the touch points need to be, they need to have that consistent experience.
And those are all, customer expectations. That's what you should, at the bare minimum, be doing for your customers.
100%.
To really grow and go to that next level and outperform majority of businesses in your competition, you need to be actually mapping out your customer journey and making sure that their experience is as easy, as frictionless, as fun for them to go through. Otherwise,
Yeah,
they'll just clock off.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, you've got to understand what it is that you're delivering to the customer and how it makes their life easier, and you know what problem it solves. I mean, a customer journey could essentially be, you know, the very first impression they get from when they first make contact, when they're researching possible solutions to the problem. And then if they choose your brand, then there's an onboarding experience. Then there's the experience of communication, how often you communicate with them. Then there's the whole delivery of whatever it is that they're purchasing. And then there's the support and the follow up. And there's one of the key questions for listeners that I would pose to them is, what does it actually feel like to do business with you? You know, so take all those things that I've just spoken about there, apply that to your own business, and think to yourself, how is my customers experiencing what we're actually delivering?
Yeah, that's a great question to really focus the shift from just doing business to actually creating a brand as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So, how do you actually increase your customer retention? This is why you're all here to listen. Retention isn't complicated, it's intentional. So, the clear onboarding sets a tone for your whole relationship with your customer. Proactive communication builds that trust over time. So, if you're quick, you're getting things done, you're answering their questions, they're going to feel like, oh, this person cares about me. So, that's going to build that trust in that relationship. And the consistency creates that confidence in them that they can trust you even more. Now, some retention drivers are education, so you help your customers win. And that could be through podcasts, it could be through your blog content on your website, the stuff that you're posting on social media. That's all education. The second one is reliability. So the promises that you're putting on your website and that your business stands for, you need to actually be delivering. You need to do what you promise. And the last one is presence. So staying engaged after the sale. You should be continually nurturing your clients after the fact of the sale so that you can create a community of people that are going to help boost your business even further.
That's right. What the listeners can do is they can map this to the sales flywheel,
Yeah.
which is to attract, engage, delight, and repeat. There are some variations to that as well. You know, we've got a slightly different version ourselves, but It all basically means the same thing. And it's about
Yeah.
just always making sure that you're providing that excellent customer experience.
It does a whole lot of difference having a good customer experience
That's right. And
and
in fact,
being the customer as well. Like it's
that's right. And ultimately, it's about turning customers into brand advocates.
yeah,
The listeners may be wondering, what is a brand advocate? Well, a brand advocate is someone that refers without being asked. So there's one of your customers that advocates for your business. They defend your brand publicly. So if someone says something bad about it, they might, jump in and say, well, in actual fact, that's not the experience I've had. You see the experience that we're using there. They generally share your content and wins because they're happy to be, in your
happy
community,
for
if you like.
you. Yeah,
And they
yeah,
generally buy again without hesitation because they've bought from you before, they've had a good experience, and they want to continue to buy from you. So, how do you create brand advocates? Firstly, you need to make your customers feel valued, not processed. So they are your business essentially. Your customers.
yeah.
Without your customers, you've got no business. You need to ask for feedback and then act on it. So if there's I mean, we do this all the time. We ask our customers how best can we serve you in your business? Is there something that we're not doing that would help you immensely in your business? Generally, actually, we're quite proactive with that, Chloe. We offer our customers because we can see where the cracks are and how we can
What needs to be
what needs to
done?
be done to get to that next level. Another thing you can do is reward loyalty and long-term relationships. Most of our clients have been with us for over 18 to 20 years. So you need to reward that. I mean, we're almost best friends with our clients, and that's the way we like it to be. And try and build a community, not just transactions. This is something that I advocate quite a bit within most businesses is start creating a community where people can actually be part of something bigger. And this really is like a mindset shift in a lot of cases. And the goal in business isn't really about more customers. It's about building better relationships, and that community can help do that.
Yeah. So, what are some common customer experiences mistakes that businesses make? Now, there's a heap of different mistakes that businesses make, but the top ones that you need to avoid are focusing only on acquisition, over automating and losing that human touch. So, overly doing AI in your business is what's going to remove that human touch. Ignoring customer feedback. This is a huge one. Your customers are your business. So if they're coming back to you and have negative feedback, you need to take that on board and go, okay, this is what we did. This didn't work. This customer had a bad experience with us. How can we make it better? And another mistake to avoid is being reactive instead of proactive, which is what links back into that ignoring customer feedback. If you're reactive and defensive and said, well, no, I did this, I did that, instead of going, okay, cool, you had this bad experience. Why did you have this bad experience? And how can I make that experience better? Because growth without retention is fragile and it's just exhausting. You end up in this up, down with money, constantly burnt out. Like it's not something that you want in your business. You go in business for the freedom, for to make an impact, to have a difference.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, go back to the focusing on acquisition point. I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest issues that I've seen in most businesses is a focusing solely on lead gen. Let's just get leads in. We need the money. We need to pay for salaries. We need to do this, and no focus, no
Yeah.
taking a long term approach and actually trying to build a brand and doing some brand marketing and things like that. You need, and part of that is actually having your brand advocates and building that community.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
actually going to save your business in the long term um, far more in a better way than just focusing on lead acquisition.
Yeah. It's the same as if you're just constantly buying leads. You're not building a brand there. You're building somebody else's brand and just taking the work.
That's
But
right.
you're not actually building a brand to acquire your own customers with that, which we can talk about in another episode.
Okay, so we've got some actionable takeaways today. The first one thing I want you to do is audit your current customer journey from first contact to follow up and just see if it can be optimized at all. Identify where the friction, confusion, or silence exists within your business. Are you the business that's focusing solely on lead acquisition and not enough on retention or building those business relationships? I'd like you to see if you can improve onboarding and post-sale communication. Focus on consistency over complexity, and track retention and lifetime value, not just the leads and clicks that you get, which is what a lot of marketing agencies seem to focus on. Oh, you've had this many leads and you've had this many clicks. Bottom line is, how much revenue have you made? That's one of the biggest metrics. How much revenue? So the brands that win long term aren't louder, cheaper, or more aggressive. They tend to be easier to trust, easier to stay with, and harder to leave. So they've got that kind of sticky momentum.
Yep, 100%. And if you love the content that we're providing in these podcasts, give us a subscribe, like the video, and follow along for the journey, and we can grow together. So next week, I'm sitting down with Brett Scott, a mindset coach who helps people break through internal limits and step into their full potential. We're going to be diving into how mindset shapes results, why most people sabotage progress without realizing it, and what it actually takes to create lasting freedom and success in your business. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.